That vampire the captain sent after Haley was a friend of mine. He lived in the city. Will got vampires' fake identities.
One of the things that I like to do after I finish an insert in my traveler's notebook is to kind of give the notebook itself kind of like a refresh. So I'll take out all of the ephemera and all the stickers and all my washi tapes and whatnot, see what has to go, see what needs to stay, and kind of go from there before I start my new insert. I think it's important, kind of, for me at least, to kind of give everything a refresh because there's a lot of stationery that I did use. There's a lot of stationery that I didn't use. There's a bunch of ephemera, especially from last insert, that just couldn't get used because there was just too much. That has to be thrown away or set aside for something else if I can. Just things like that.
Hey, be discreet. I kill people and give you their IDs. You let me feed in your club.
I personally like to do this kind of a refresh before starting a new insert because it helps give me new eyes on what I have and what I don't have and how I can use what I have within each spread. So I know it may seem like tedious, but that's kind of like the charm of Traveler's Notebook to me, is being able to kind of have everything that I want to use at the tips of my fingers, I guess, and being able to journal anywhere, and being able, not only that, but like being able to sit down somewhere and pulling out stuff and not having to worry about like, oh well, I need these stickers because I left them at home, or just things like that. So
How does it feel to be wrong all the time? I brought Elena here to feed. I mean, Mystic Falls isn't exactly Vamp Xanadu right now.
Right, so you drove 7 hours to New York City.
Yes, and as I was explaining to Elena,
finally going through all of the ephemera and stickers that I had collected from last year was actually quite cathartic because it was like taking like a little trip down memory lane. There was, little stickers that I got from different small businesses, receipts from when I went to LA with my friend to see Blackpink, little pamphlets and stuff from different dates I went on with the guy that I was seeing last year, and just things like that. It was cool to like keep certain things and be like, oh yeah, I can use this for like a future spread, or oh, I could stick this back in insert 7 because it never got stuck in there, or getting rid of things because, oh, that memory used to be a good one but now it's not. So just things like that.
I hated the moral, self-righteous version of you, but this one's not so bad.
I also took some time prior to me cleaning out my traveler's notebook to go through my entire stationery collection and get rid of things that I knew I wasn't going to use anymore. I do want to do like a D-stash on Mercari, so hopefully I can figure that out. But I also was able to find a whole bunch of stuff that I want to use in my next insert. That one will better suit my style, and two, just, slowly make my way through the large stash that I do have.
man, why do you care so much?
So here is volume 8. It is a handmade insert that I made myself with papers that I've collected for like the past couple of years. There's Kokio paper, tea-stained paper, Tomo River paper, vellum, tracing paper, paper from packages, paper bags, and yeah, I like journaling in these kinds of inserts more than like a lined or like a grid notebook because it's just like a fun creative challenge for me. There's a lot of thought that has to go into what I'm putting on the page and how much of like different things I want to include and whatnot. It's kind of hard to explain, but I plan to do like more journaling with me's this year to kind of like show you how I would do a spread in an insert like this. But I don't know, I think a handmade insert is fun, and in my volume 7 insert was the Travelers Company grid insert, and while, don't get me wrong, very nice insert, very good quality paper, really enjoyed using it, but there was just like a lack of a creative challenge, and all of my spreads ended up looking the same in one way or another. And yeah, just a handmade insert doesn't really allow for that, which I enjoy.
Excuse me. I just want to see where we are.
You know, when we split up, we
You had a friend. Was he drawn to your dark? Free her from darkness!
You just gave him what he wanted, Caroline. Shit. Damn it, woman.
It's beautiful up here. I could do this, you know. Alexi method. Hang with you. Party with you. It wouldn't be the worst way to turn my emotions back on.
So you hated emotions.
I do. In the end, just looking up an excuse to spend more time with you.
It's gonna work. The sex, the temptation, the booze. You kidding me? I invented that trick.
Inspiration that she gave me is that I did like the column.
During my clean out, I was able to find some extra ephemera that I wanted to include in volume 7, so that's what I did. I found this piece of confetti from when I went to go see Paramore. Super insane day. It was in the middle of summer. I live in the desert, and it was like 1,000 degrees outside. I was sweating my balls off. But I also had the time of my life because it was frickin' Paramore. They're like my all-time favorite band, 10 out of 10 experience, and the fact that they were just so close to me was nuts. I also found like some receipts for when I went to the beach for my birthday and included those in the spread as well. And then at the end of this insert, I made like a little goodbye spread for volume 7, and I like to do like a hello and a goodbye in all of my inserts because I don't know, I spent such a time with that notebook, you know, and it wouldn't be fair to it if I didn't say hello and goodbye. I know that's like mad weird, but hopefully to someone that resonates. But what I was originally going to do with this insert was include all of January and make spreads about what I did in January, but I was just over it and ready to move on. And that happens every now and again with notebooks for me. Like the last time I used a A5 like hardcover notebook to journal in, I think I got just a little over halfway through and was like, okay, it's time for me to move on from this notebook. I know to some people that may sound incredibly wasteful, but I don't know, I think it also just hinges on like the memories and the good and the bad that comes with that insert and what I wrote and like the experiences that I had. And don't get me wrong, 2023 was a great year, but it still had its downs, and I think when I was fixing this spread, I kind of was going through like another down point because I had just broken up with the dude that I was seeing and just wanted to move on and go for a fresh start. So that's kind of like why I'm moving on from this insert, you know? So scrapped all of January, but don't get me wrong, I am going to journal January in my volume 8. I just want to make different spreads, prettier spreads, and I'm tired of just everything in that journal like looking the same. When I say spread, I mean like 2 pages that correlate into one topic. So that's why there's like, I'm journaling on both pages. But for this spread, what I did was stick down some extra ephemera that I found that I specifically wanted to keep in this insert, and then just said goodbye. You know, I told the journal like, hey, we had a great time together. Thank you for everything. 2023 was an awesome year. Had its ups and downs, and I'm just ready to move on. And I know it sounds like I'm breaking up with the journal or something, but I don't know. Sometimes you just have to let bygones be bygones and just move on, you know?
To my surprise, I've been really enjoying the jet stream in the .5 and the .7. If you saw one of my videos, I can't remember exactly which one it was, but one of my haul videos, or one of my, I don't know, one of my videos. And just to get to the minimum for free shipping, I went ahead and ordered some .5 as well. So I have some refills for that in black. And then aside from that, I'm getting kind of tired of,
I liked both, and I was back and forth on which one to pick. But I ended up deciding on the Avec instead of creating my own inserts. As you'll see in a clip further on, I do have a ring planner that I'm going to be adding into my system, but it is not for work. I decided not to do it for work because the idea of having to recreate all of these spreads and all of these inserts for work over and over again just ended up being way too much for my brain to kind of like wrap its head around. And I wanted to make my life easier, not more difficult. So I decided that it wasn't tomorrow, and I'll do it tomorrow, and then it didn't get done. And that is a really big problem when you have client work and also like YouTube and you know all the different things that I have to do. So what I decided was, and I used my my current Avec because I didn't want to just buy something. In my case, like what was really being affected wasn't a hobby. It was more of like my planning. And even if it was a hobby, right? Like let's not shame people for buying planners. People have the things that they want to spend money on. You might want to spend money on a purse. I want to spend money on a notebook. But in my case, I was able to kind of, I decided that I needed to buy a planner because I really was not being productive and I needed to be productive, right? Like this is my work, this is important. I need a system that works for me. And so I trialed the Avec. I trialed it out for 3 weeks and I really...
That is all I have for you today, friends. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I will catch you in the next one. Stay gold.
Commonplace system because there are some gaps in my media journal segment where I am creating a spread and I'm just trialing out. Right now I haven't received any of my inserts or anything like that for the rings, so I haven't